This week will mark 3 months since the horrific shooting at Annunciation that left 2 children dead and more than 20 people, mostly children, wounded. Since then, there has been talk about a possible special session for gun control and talk of a possible constitutional amendment banning assault-style weapons. While those talks have stalled, some Annunciation parents have continued a public fight for gun control efforts. One of those parents is Tess Rada, whose 8-year-old daughter, Lila, survived the shooting. And Tess, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I couldn't help but notice that in some of the appearances by the governor in his tour around the state, talking to people, you're there. Mm-hmm. Tell us first, why don't you tell us about how your daughter's doing and just that day for you?
Yeah, so that day was like any other day, but it was the 3rd day of school. They do mass on Wednesdays, and it was the back to school mass. And I got a call at work from my daughter's dad, who was on site. He had brought Lila's lunch back. She had forgotten it, and he brought it there, and he heard the 116 shots in 2 minutes that happened that day. And when I went to go get her,
you must have just...
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. But I didn't know how serious it was at the time. I didn't have much information. And then I went there, and we had the reunification zone in the gym. And the things that I saw that day are going to haunt me for the rest of my life. There were children screaming, crying, blood on their clothes, parents frantically looking for their kids, and some didn't find their kids. And
There's so much here, and the Annunciation parents have really been remarkable. There was a bunch of Annunciation parents that went to the legislature in September, and this was a hearing unlike, I've been to a lot of legislative hearings, but the Annunciation parents really delivered here and really shared what it was like for them and their children. I know that you told me your child was physically unhurt, but you told me you have a different little girl.
Yes, I think probably everyone that goes to Annunciation feels this way, but very different, very scared just all the time, very loud noises. She flinches, she gets very scared. I went on a field trip with them, and all of the kids, whenever they hear a noise, they either drop to the ground or they are just very, very scared.
What do you want? Because what are you fighting for? Because the talks for a special session have stalled, constitutional amendment, the legislature's tied. I mean, what are you pushing for? So
I think all Annunciation parents would agree that we just want this to never happen again. I don't want any family to have to feel what I felt that day. And it seems like the best way to do that is taking assault weapons off of the street, because nobody should be able to fire 116 rounds in 2 minutes and cause that kind of destruction. So I am in favor of anything that gets those weapons of war, really what they are, off of the streets and out of the hands of people who want to hurt other people.
Now, you have gone around with the governor to some of his meetings in town halls outside the immediate metro. And what has been the response there? Because if you look at sort of polling inside the metro, such a ban would be popular, and possibly it would be popular statewide. Here's the actual polling. 53% statewide support some kind of ban, 35% do not. But if you go into the more outlying areas and communities, the numbers flip. What kind of reception have you gotten? Do you think you convince people?
I think it's hard for people to understand how awful this is until they have somebody in their face telling them their personal story, and they realize that we're just normal people that this happened to. And so I've gotten really positive responses. Nobody wants their kids to be hurt or killed in schools. I think that's fair to say of everyone. It's just how we get there that is the sticking point.
Will you be working for a constitutional amendment to be put on the ballot with the legislature?
I think yes. Special session isn't going to happen, but a constitutional amendment I think would pass. Not everybody, but most people want to see these guns off of our streets.
Well, according to that KSTP Survey USA poll, I mean, and other polls have shown that, so it'll be very interesting. Well, I just, it's remarkable to me when people can take such a horrible thing and try and do good and try and spread a word to try and help others. And I really thank you for that, and we thank the folks at Annunciation because they've been amazing and very gracious to all the reporters who tried to cover it with respect and dignity. So thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
we will continue to follow your saga.
Thank you.
Okay.